Hello again. Welcome back to Lessons in Dance. My name is Ortavia, and we're just going to simply pick up where we left off the other week when we were talking about stretching the feet and feet beats. So I want you to take your feet and you're going to put them into first position. And we'll talk about that more in depth later, but stand with your feet flat in a parallel position, which means your toes and your heels are touching. And I want you to lift up onto your heel and slowly turn your feet out so that they create a triangle with the feet. But the most important thing is that you're going to have to turn out from your hip. Okay, so you're not just turning out from your ankles and from your feet, but you're actually moving your hips outward as well. Okay. So now, depending on which side you're on, the left or the right, the outside leg is going to be your working leg, and the other leg is going to be your standing leg. This is what's going to keep your balance. So I want you to move that foot out, tendu position, and then I want you to cut it, boom, into a flex position and place that foot right there at your ankle. Okay? Now what we're going to do is slowly move the foot out from a flex position to a pointed position, and at the same time your leg is going to extend out and it's going to become straight. So that ending position is going to be pointed. The beginning position is flexed. We're going to do that on a count of 4. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring it back. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're back to your flex position. Okay, so this is another exercise that you're going to do in order to stretch the foot, not only in the pointed position, but you're also working the ankles as well. So again, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring it back. 1, 2, 3, 4. End up in your flex position. Okay. The next exercise you're going to do to stretch your feet is going to be a foot roll. And we're just going to simply take that foot and we're going to move it counterclockwise. At the same time, your foot is going to go out. Your leg is going to go out, and you're just going to simply roll that ankle around, okay? And then bring it back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring it back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you're going to do that again on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring it back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the next part of that is going to be what are called isolations. The next exercise, I should say, is going to be what are your isolations. We're going to take what we learned last week and we're going to simply bend at the toes. 1. Let's get a good angle there. Bend at the toes. 1. Up on the point. 2. Down. 3. Flat foot. 4. Again, up. 1. Point. 2. Isolate the toes. 3. And down. 4. Did you get that? And you can do that at any pace, but the point is to really isolate those foot. And once again, when my toes are on the ground, I'm making sure that my toes are as flat as possible, and I'm spreading them out because once again, those toes and the ball of my foot are going to help me to balance, which takes me into the next foot position, or the next isolation technique, and that's going to be your releve. Okay, once again, releve means to lift, and simply what we're doing is lifting the heel off of the ground, and we're balancing on the balls of our foot. And as you know, when you're balancing on point, you're balancing on the toes, okay? But we're not going to do that. You gotta have strong, strong feet for that. So, what I want to emphasize is that when you're up on releve, you have to make sure that the knees and the ankles are directly over the toes. You do not want your knees to turn out this way when you're balancing. Do you see that? Do you see how my feet are not straight at this point? They're kind of turned. That is what is called rolling the foot. You do not want to do this. This is not going to help you in your balance. You want to make sure when you lift, make sure you're holding on to something. Right now I'm on my balcony, so just make sure you're holding on to something. I also have portable ballet bars. They are very, very cheap. You can get them for about $100 on Amazon, or sorry, there's another website that you can go to, but I'll have to get that information for you and put that in the link in the description bar. So when you lift, you're going to slowly raise up, and make sure that the knees are straight over the toes, okay? And then you're going to slowly put them back down. Again, you're going to slowly raise up, spreading those toes, knees over the toes, and then you're going to slowly put them down. Okay, once again, slowly raise up. Make sure your heels and your toes are still touching, and then slowly put them down. Yes? Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick exercise, and hopefully this will help you just in a beginning. This is a beginner stretch, okay? We're not going to get into really advanced stretching right now, but this is just going to be a beginner stretch. So I'm going to take you from the first exercise that we did with the tendus, and then we're going to go to the feet beats. We're going to go to the isolations, and we're also going to go through the foot rolls. But you know how I like to do it, because we're also learning rhythm on this channel. You're going to put this exercise to your favorite songs. How many? 5. Make sure that you try to grab something that has different tempos. You're trying to grab something that has different rhythms so that you can learn to work that agility, okay? Your agility is going to help you move from one position, one movement to the next freely, okay? So we're going to start off in our parallel position, and we're going to do what is called en croix. En croix means in a cross. Translated, front, side, back, side. When you go to the front, when you think about en croix, I want you to think about a clock. And on that clock, I want you to think about your 12, your 3, your 6, and your 9. And the 3 and the 9 are going to depend on what foot you're using, of course. If you're using your left foot, you're going to go towards the 9. If you're going to use your right foot, you're going to go towards the 3, correct? Okay. So once again, let's start with our tendus. We're going to slide that foot forward along the ground. You want to create friction with your foot. Move it into a pointed position. Remember, we're working in parallel. We're not working in turned out. Okay? And then you're going to isolate that toe, those toes, bring them back until your foot is flat again. Do the same thing with the side. Slide that foot out. Make sure it's sliding along the ground till it gets to a pointed position, and then you're going to slowly bring it back. Same thing going towards the back. Let's see if we can get a good angle here. Slide along the floor. Boom. I know this is a weird angle. And you're going to slowly bring it back. Okay, and then the last position is to the side. Bring it out, and then bring it back. I want you to do this on both sides 4 times. So en croix is 1 set. Front side, back side is 1 set. Then you have another set, front side, back side, again for 3 and again for 4. Then I want you to turn it around and work your other side. Front, side, back, side. Okay? Yes. Okay? The second exercise you're going to do, turn it back to the other side, is your foot isolation. So again, you have 4 sets en croix. 1, 2, 3, 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do that again on the back and do that again on the front. Turn it around to the other side and do your other side. Your next exercise is going to be your feet beats. You're going to move into a turned out position. We haven't directly worked turned out position. We will talk about that another day. But as I told you, you're going to turn out from the hips, and your feet are going to create a triangle, and you're going to coupe that foot. If you need to, bring that foot out in tendu and cut it back, okay? Or else you can just stand in your assis position and boom, here you go. So you have feet beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring it back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, move it out to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring it back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what I need to tell you is that when you're going to start working the back, you need to close to the back after you get to the side. What do I mean by close to the back? You see how when I first started, I started in the front and I was able to move my foot forward and I was able to move to the side. Well, now that I'm about to use the back position, I need to place my foot in the back of my ankle, and then I can move back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I can move back to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring it back. 1, 2, 3, 4. And depending on if I'm going to start from the back or start from the front is where you place your foot, in the front or in the back. Okay? Yes. Next, you're going to take your foot, bring it back to parallel, and you're going to do your foot rolls. Again, you're going to start, doesn't matter if you start clockwise or counterclockwise, but you're going to move your ankle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring it back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Just getting those toes and those ankles working from your pointed position. Okay? So those are just a few exercises that you can do. Once again, put them to music so that you can start working with your rhythm and start working the agility of things, and that should help you start to work those toes and start to work those feet. Another exercise you can do is to scrunch those feet and unscrunch them. Scrunch those feet and unscrunch them. Okay? Just get those toes working. Get those toes working. Lastly, you have your releves. I would say do about 16 in the morning, do about 16 at night. Do them slowly. Do them with something that you can balance, because you're not yet strong enough to balance by yourself. So make sure that you get something that's going to hold you up. Okay? So once again, you're going to lift slowly, heels off the ground, toes and heels together, making sure those knees are over the toes. Boom. Lift up on releve and make sure that those toes are spread out as far as possible. And then you're going to slowly come down. Like I said, you're going to do that 16 times. You will get a good calf stretch as well. This is going to be helpful to strengthen your legs. You need your leg strength for dancing. Trust me. Okay? So once again, take these exercises, these few beginner exercises, and try to work them in and put them to music. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. The next part of that is when you get on the floor and you stretch those legs out. Remember, work your flex position, pulling those toes back, and then slowly isolate those toes, moving them forward. Boom. Point them and move them back. Remember, heels off the ground as much as you can. It's going to be hard at first, but once you start building that strength, you'll be able to get there. Once again, you're going to move those toes forward, point to them, pointed position, and move them back. Toes back, move everything back into a flex position. Okay? I hope this helps. See you next time.